Well, I know that there are reports from the Russian side that this alleged attack at one of the presidential palaces by drone or drones, it is unclear whether it actually happened. You know, Ukraine is receiving drones and missiles every single night into their capital city, and you know all they can do is fight back. And you know, seems to me a little indelicate to be this close in a peace deal. Ukraine really wanting to get a peace deal done, and then to do something that would be viewed as reckless or not helpful. So,
this is my video update on this Wednesday afternoon, December the 31st, coming to you from Larnaca, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And before we get to the news stories for the last day of 2025, I want to wish everyone that is watching this video, everyone that has been supporting this channel over 2025, a very difficult 2025. I wish everyone a happy and healthy new year and all the best in 2026. So in 2025, just on a side note, I managed to post a video every single day of the year in 2025. So that is a mini accomplishment that I was aiming for actually in 2025. In 2024, I missed one day short of posting a video every single day, 7 days a week. And I made a promise, a commitment that in 2025, I am going to post a video update every single day, 7 days a week. Saturday, Sunday, healthy, sick, I didn't care. I was going to post a video every single day. And so I just wanted to make that quick announcement, a small goal that was achieved in 2025. So let's get to the news. And let's start things off with the Chinese drills, military drills, around Taiwan, which is freaking out the collective West. The United States, they are condemning these drills. The European Union, they are condemning these drills, these military drills. And this is China's response to Trump's $11 billion in military aid to Taiwan. So the United States sends another $11 billion in military aid to Taiwan. That happened a couple of days ago. The second military aid package under Trump to Taiwan. And so China, they conduct military drills. And the United States and the EU, the collective West, is angry with China. This post on X from Nick Cruz. The same country that is murdering fishermen in the Caribbean and engaging in piracy of oil is complaining about China doing simple military drills in their own territory. Very true, their own territory. China, Taiwan, the one China policy, of which the United States officially recognizes Taiwan as part of China. So that is an update there. Spot on post from Nick Cruz. What a great name, Nick Cruz. Let's move on now to, let me fix my mic. Let's move on to Iran, warning the Trump administration that any attack on Iran would mean a big retaliation, not only from Iran, but also from its proxies in the region, the axis, I believe it's the axis of resistance that they go by. So Iran has vowed a harsh response to U.S. or Israeli aggression. Tehran has warned of immediate retaliation of any attack following U.S. President Donald Trump's threat of new strikes. I talked about this over many video updates that Netanyahu is is meeting with Trump. He met with Trump yesterday, and he is pushing for another U.S. strike into Iran. The claim is that Iran is building up their ballistic missiles, and they're looking to once again rebuild their nuclear program, to restart their nuclear program. And so Netanyahu is making this case to Trump that the United States has to be ready to go after Iran. And it looks like Trump agrees with Netanyahu. And he sent a warning yesterday, right before he had his meeting with the Israeli prime minister. And now we have Iran's response to Trump's statements. Netanyahu has been going on all of the U.S. media channels, Fox News, Newsmax. He's everywhere in the media as he's in the United States. I believe he is going to attend Trump's New Year's Eve Mar-a-Lago party as well. But Netanyahu is sounding the alarm on Iran, on their ballistic missile production, and also on the possibility that they might get a nuclear weapon. We are back to the Iran getting a nuclear weapon, but notice how the goalposts have have moved, right? We're talking about ballistic missiles as well. It's not only that Iran is enriching uranium to build a nuke, it is now Iran is producing ballistic missiles. They are going back to ballistic missile production. As far as the nuclear program, I think they are trying to do that. I'm not sure they've decided to cross the line. They have to choose. We don't seek escalation, but if they do, all bets are off. That is what Netanyahu said on Iran. So it's about ballistic missiles now. That's the red line for Trump and for Netanyahu, ballistic missiles. So talking about missiles, the Orezhniks are deployed in Belarus and ready to go. This is official. Russia's Orezhnik missile system has been placed on combat duty in Belarus following a formal ceremony. So the Orezhniks are ready in Belarus. The question is, will they be used in a retaliation strike for the alleged strike towards Putin's residence in Novgorod? Will the retaliation be an Orezhnik? Maria Zakharova said that the retaliation, the response to drones targeting Putin's Novgorod residence is going to be not diplomatic. That is what Maria Zakharova said. And Ukraine continues to deny that any drones were sent towards Novgorod, towards Putin's residence. They are saying this is fake news. Ukraine is very angry and condemning India, Pakistan, the UAE, and countries that have condemned the drones towards Putin's residence. Those are the countries that have issued an official statement. Ukraine is angry at those countries, and they're condemning them for issuing an official statement condemning the alleged Ukraine drones towards Putin's residence. So Ukraine is very upset with India, UAE, and Pakistan. So yesterday there were drones sent into Moscow, a lot of drones sent into Moscow. I believe 21 or 25 drones in the Moscow region. I believe some blackouts also occurred in the city of Moscow from these drone strikes. But as Ukraine is saying that it's fake news, drones towards Novgorod, complete fake news from Russia, the very same day they send a swarm of drones into Moscow. So Alexander, what do I want to say here? Yeah, so Alexander sent an article to me and to Larry Johnson, and he actually talked about this in his video update yesterday as well. And the article is from November, about a month ago, and it's an article from the Telegraph with the title, "How Tiny Details Expose Putin's Location. President keeps identical offices across Russia to obscure movements, but small clues give him away. Vladimir Putin has exact replicas of his offices in different regions of Russia to conceal his whereabouts and thwart potential attacks, an investigation has claimed." This is coming from the UK Telegraph. This article was published in November of 2025, and it's an interesting article from a month ago because it claims that the place where Putin likes to hang out the most is in Novgorod, at this residence that allegedly was targeted by drones, and that's his favorite spot to hang out. And his offices at the Kremlin and at this residence and other residences that he has are replicas, are the exact same, so that people do not know his whereabouts, so no one can tell where he is exactly. And they actually have a photo on the as the featured image on this Telegraph article, which talks about the wall panel, the thermostat, the door handle, the TV stand. And it's this investigation which claims that the Russian president has replicas so that he cannot be targeted. But the place that he likes to spend the most time at is the Novgorod residence. So that was a month ago, and then you have this strike into Novgorod. Now no one knows where Putin was. Maybe he was in Novgorod. Maybe he was not. Maybe he was at the Kremlin. Putin is on record saying many times that he usually is in the Kremlin. I would think that the safest place for Putin to be is the Kremlin. That would be my thinking. Is there anywhere safer in Russia than the Kremlin? But this article claims that it's Valdai, the Novgorod residence that he likes to stay at. And then you had Arestovich yesterday say that, what did Arestovich say? That this is not only Putin's country residence, but it's also a place where nuclear weapons can be launched, or something like that. That's what Arestovich said yesterday. I forgot his exact quote. So it wasn't only going after Putin; you were also going after a nuclear command center, right? Which is true by default. I mean, if you go after the president of Russia, you are effectively going after the man that commands the nuclear weapons, right? So I mean, you know, it's kind of logical to say that, default to say that you go after Putin, you go after Russia's nukes or Russia's nuclear launch or capabilities. So anyway, that's what Arestovich said yesterday. An interesting article from the Telegraph, and good on Alexander for remembering that article from the Telegraph. Not many people talked about that article from the Telegraph. We didn't talk about that article from the Telegraph from a month ago. But coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. We still have Ukraine and much of the collective West media demanding that Russia show evidence for the drones towards Novgorod. They want evidence. Peskov said, we don't need to show evidence. It can work both ways. I mean, Russia can show evidence They can do this. No one's going to believe Russia if they show evidence anyway, but Russia can show evidence of the drones. The United States or the collective West can also show evidence to refute Russia's claims. They can come out with evidence saying there were no drones being launched in that direction. So, I mean, kind of goes both ways. No doubt the collective West of the United States knows if this happened or if it did not happen. The U.S. absolutely knows if this happened. My thinking is that if the U.S. knows this did not happen, then I would imagine that there are definitely people in the U.S. government, no doubt about it. The U.S. government is full of people that would love to embarrass Russia and to embarrass Putin. Remember, Putin told this to Trump, so it would be extremely embarrassing if they managed to publish evidence saying that this was fake. So I would guess that if the U.S. does not publish anything or does not leak evidence, say to the Washington Post or the New York Times, saying that this was fake news, then it happened. That would be how I would see things. That would be my guess. So if you don't see any leak to the U.S. Media, which refutes Russia's claims, then most likely it happened, right? Why would Putin say this to Trump? It doesn't make any sense if this was fake. That's not Putin. Putin would not take that type of chance or that type of risk to tell U.S. President Trump this happened. Putin knowing it didn't happen and then telling Trump this happened, knowing that the United States would know if this happens. Anyway, that is the update there on the drones. Zelensky said yesterday that he's in talks with the U.S. for boots on the ground once they agree to security guarantees, which is something that the U.S. and Trump will not agree to. There will be no U.S. boots on the ground, official U.S. boots on the ground. But now Zelensky is saying that he's in talks with the Trump administration for U.S. troops in Ukraine. The European leaders, they discussed yesterday in a phone call the drone incident, and they're also talking about the next steps as to what could happen if Russia retaliates. There's going to be a security meeting in Kiev on Saturday. We're going to have Coalition of the Willing security intel chiefs in Kiev. So they're going to be meeting. A lot of stuff is going to go down in 2026, at least with regards to the conflict in Ukraine and a possible conflict between Europe and Russia, which the United States, parts of the United States government would like this conflict to happen in 2027. Europe would like this conflict to happen in 2030. Of course, this could all be one big gigantic bluff, but I think in 2026, we're going to find out if this is indeed a bluff or if we really are heading towards some sort of a smash between Europe and Russia. New German military plan views foreign sabotage as preparation for war. Blueprint details Berlin's options in a major NATO conflict. The planning reflects a broader shift in Germany, which has assumed a central role in logistics and reinforcement planning for the alliance, as Russia has grown increasingly belligerent towards European NATO countries following the Kremlin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine almost 4 years ago. How that's connected to NATO? Please explain, because Ukraine is not in NATO, Ukraine is not in the European Union. So how this is seen as being belligerent towards NATO and towards the EU or towards Germany? Don't know, but that is what Politico is reporting, and Germany is is building up their military to prepare for a conflict, a future conflict with Russia. Merz, in his New Year's Eve address, even said as much. The United States, he said, is pulling away, and Europe has to take the role of protecting its borders against the Russian threats. And he also said that any type of hybrid attack against Germany could be seen as an act of war. Cyber attack, drones, whatever. They could all be seen as some sort of an act of war against Germany. That's being put into the German military doctrine. So that was Merz's New Year's Eve address. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's from BlackRock, Merz. We're preparing for a conflict with Russia. Or maybe it's just all a bluff. Either way, the MIC wins. The MIC always wins. That never changes from year to year. So Euronews, they put out a poll yesterday asking, are you ready to fight for Europe's borders? As war risks rise, how is the European Union preparing for a direct military conflict by 2026? Would you fight for the EU's borders? And you can see Ursula walking past the soldiers, the EU soldiers, the European soldiers, the NATO soldiers. Ursula is making sure, the commander-in-chief of EU's army is making sure that the EU soldiers are ready to go and fight to protect the EU's borders. Yep, the EU's borders, the United States of Europe. Boy, do they want a United States of Europe really, really bad. Along with the military and EU military and EU taxation and EU borders. And the EU closing commercial flights. Ursula closing commercial flights back in 2022 from Russia. And all of the EU member states went along with it. And shutting down the media in 2022. A directive from Brussels, and all the EU member states went along with it. So if Brussels says EU army, they're going to go along with it. Fight for the EU borders. The member states are going to go along with it, except for Hungary and Slovakia and possibly Czechia. But there you have it. They are preparing everybody, getting ready for a conflict with Russia, or a bluff. A conflict with Russia, or one big giant bluff. Yep. But are you ready? Are you ready to fight for the EU's borders? Are you ready? I'll tell you who's ready. The Baltic countries are ready, and they're already preparing. I talked about the wall that was built yesterday. The fence that was built by Latvia. Was it Latvia? Did I report about Latvia yesterday? 280-kilometer fence to keep Russia out, or to keep people in Latvia in, whichever way you want to look at it. And now we are getting news that Lithuania is preparing to mine their border bridges. Yep, they are going to get the border bridges ready so that if Russia decides to cross over into Lithuania, because Russia may want to go into Lithuania in order to grab all of Lithuania's resources, their minerals, their rare earths, their oil, their gas, of which Lithuania is very rich in all of these minerals, these rare minerals. So Russia may want to go into Lithuania, and Lithuania is preparing to make those bridges blow up. So they're preparing for a conflict with Russia. So an update on what's going on in Yemen. The UAE military is pulling out of Yemen after Saudi Arabia's strike. into Yemen, into the port of Mukalla. The UAE says it will withdraw its remaining forces in Yemen after Saudi Arabia struck Port City. The UAE initially rejected the accusations and expressed surprise at the strikes, but the country's defense ministry later announced that in view of recent developments, it would voluntarily withdraw the remaining counterterrorism units it had in Yemen. And the big story in the United States, huge story in the United States, is the Minnesota daycare fraud scandal, which I believe is around 8 billion, potentially 8 billion in daycare fraud. All of this from a 42-minute video by Nick Shirley, a journalist and a YouTuber that he published a couple of days ago that caught the attention of everybody, actually, including Donald Trump Jr., including J.D. Vance, including the FBI, and we got reports from the United States, from the Trump administration, that they are freezing child care payments to Minnesota amid federal investigation into alleged fraud. J.D. Vance posted on X, turning off payments and forcing verification before taxpayer money flows out the door is one of the most important steps we can take to end the fraud in Minnesota, but there will be many more to come. Thomas Massey posted on January 30th, funding for the fraudulent daycare programs in Minnesota expires. It's an $8 billion nationwide program without guardrails to prevent theft. I challenge my colleagues to eliminate the fraud, but I suspect Speaker Johnson and Leader John Thune will fund it without a fix. So that's the post from Massey. 8 billion nationwide program without guardrails to prevent theft. It's a lot of money, 8 billion. Well, a lot of money for me and you. Walensky's probably reading this fraud report, this daycare scandal, and he's saying 8 billion, hold my beer. It's nothing, man. 8 billion badillion. That's it. I can't even buy 2 homes with 8 billion. Somalia. Everyone keep your eye out on Somalia in 2026. Somaliland, Somalia, daycare fraud. Something's going to happen in Somalia. That's the way it looks. Everything's being prepared. So, a clown world, and we can wrap up today's video. Ukraine erases Tchaikovsky as symbol of Russian imperialism. The renowned composer's name has been removed from the National Music Academy. Ukraine's culture ministry has erased the name of renowned Russian composer Tchaikovsky from its National Music Archive. Tchaikovsky rose to global prominence in the latter half of the 19th century as a leading composer of symphonic music, including the ballets Swan Lake and the Nutcracker. Yep, you gotta get rid of Tchaikovsky. Gotta get rid of that Swan Lake and that Nutcracker. Gotta get rid of it. Russian imperialism. Who is being isolated? Russia or the collective West, or Ukraine? Ukraine is isolating itself by making these moves. Anyway, that is one clown world, and the final clown world for 2025, courtesy via Trump Truth Social, where Trump posted a photo. Oh boy, this is a weird one. Where Trump posted a photo claiming it shows a bald eagle in the United States killed by a windmill. In reality, the image is of a dead falcon in Israel from 2017. This is a very bizarre post from Trump. A very, very bizarre post. The actual photo is from 2017. They claim this is not a bald eagle, it's a falcon. I don't know. I'm I'm not very good at identifying birds, but anyway. And you can see the number 13. You can see the actual dates of the photos. So I don't understand how Trump did not see the dates in the screen grabs. And a lot of other weird things going on here. Jordan Crowder actually lists all the weird things going on with this post from Trump on Truth Social. So this is just weird and a bit unsettling for a few reasons. Trump, the president, tweets a pic out showing a dead falcon in Israel. He claims it's a bald eagle in America. Then the Department of Energy retweets it. The DOE is about the most powerful and in the know agency, period. And to make it weirder, the dimensions of the image are displayed. The time is 4:44, the tower number is 13, and the date of the photo is 9/11. What the F is this all about? It's weird, no doubt about it. Very weird post on Truth Social. And it's the post that is going to be the last final clown world for 2025. I will see everybody in 2026. Happy New Year. Take care. All the best.